So we welcome you all here right now in this time together as we bring in our teachers for the invocation and as they start their videos at this time. We just want to also recognize and honor those essential workers, including all the women and who are caregiving and homeschooling and have spiritual lives as well, because often that is their spiritual life of just being a mother or being an essential worker. And so while we are honored and privileged in some ways to be on this call together, this time together, we just want to recognize all the women who aren't here, who are having to be on the front lines with their different work and children at home. So as we come now, we see our speakers and teachers coming together. We'd like just a brief invocation. And so welcome to you all. Lovely to see your faces.
Welcome.
And if you'll unmute yourself as we call your name. And we'll start with Swami Ambikananda.
Om. Aham Brahmasmi. I am that which I seek. Tatvamasi. You are that which we all seek. Thank you.
Jetsun Matinsan Palmo.
Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisvaha.
Sister Lucy Kurian.
Namo He Meri Ma. Namo He Meri Ma. May the divine feminine energy strengthen me and the whole universe.
Abuela Margarita.
Dios. ¿Ya? Gracias, Gran Misterio Dios, por estar
Thank you,
en el
Mystery
corazón de
God,
toda la humanidad.
for
Hombres y
being in the
mujeres.
heart of the whole humanity, men and women.
Ajá, ajá.
Gracias. Rabbi Silvina Chemin.
Shalom, peace for all. Refeinu Adonai v'nerafeo shienu v'nivashea. Heal us, Lord, and we shall be healed. Save us, and we will be saved.
Dr. Karambu Ringera.
I am because you are, and because you are, I am.
Simi Bushra Ghazi.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I begin in the name of the One, the womb of creative compassion and care.
Alejandra Warden.
Beloved, make us an instrument of your love, peace, and wisdom.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let us now just enter into a moment of silence.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome again. We're going to now begin some of our short presentations. And so if all the speakers will stop their video except for Swami Ambikananda Saraswati, who I'd like to introduce now. Swami Ambikananda is a Hindu monastic and the founder of the Traditional Yoga Association in Reading, UK. She is the author of several books, including new translations of Hindu scriptures. Welcome, Swamiji.
Thank you. It's just wonderful to be here and to once again be looking at this issue of gender, and that we have reached 2020 and there is still a problem is somehow makes my heart falter. I just wonder why. And so when I was thinking about this, I thought really the most important thing is that we begin to consider what are our responsibilities? What are we responsible for in this world? You know, the big thing these days is health and well-being. I had a very dear friend who is now passed, but he said, ever since we gave up the search for eternity, longevity will do. And it does seem to me that this is the engagement now, health and well-being. And we've now decided that we have assumed total control of that. And of course, that is crazy. We have some responsibility towards our bodies, but we need to gauge very carefully how much that is. And we have responsibility to the others in our lives and to humanity at large. And we need to judge that responsibility well. And we have responsibility. The greatest responsibility is, I feel, our own minds. I so admire the old Stoics, and particularly the slave Epictetus, who said, your body can be taken to the marketplace and sold. Anything can happen to it. But your mind is what you have responsibility for. And so I want to look at that responsibility in relation to gender for each of us, because it seems to me we should be in a different place than we are now. And it is almost a refusal to take responsibility. It's almost it's somebody else's job. I won't focus on that right now. And I want to look at what has taken us to that idea, that it's not my responsibility, that it's not something I can influence. I heard that a young female yoga teacher, I've been teaching yoga for many years, a woman much younger, half my age, said to somebody, you know, I can get up and teach some beautiful and profound things, and I watch the people looking at me, and mostly women, because it's mostly women in the classes, and they like it. They kind of, it's okay. A bloke gets up and voices platitudes, but they are transported. What happens? Because I must say I've had the same experience as this young teacher and been curious about it. What happens in our minds? What is our responsibility at that moment when we are seeking our points of reference? What are our responsibilities in relation to gender? So that is really what I will be looking at. Thank you.
Thank you, Swami Ambikananda.
Thank you so much. And now we'd like to welcome Jetsunma Tenzin Palmo. And Tenzin Palmo is a Tibetan Buddhist nun and the founder of the Dongyu Gatsal Ling Nunnery in northern India, where she is reinstituting the Togdenma Dakini lineage that has been denied to Buddhist nuns for centuries. She's the author of 5 books and also the president of Sakyadita, the International Buddhist Women's Association. Welcome, Jetsunma.
Welcome, Jetsunma.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you, Will. And thank you for playing that beautiful Mozart. It's my favorite violin concerto.
I actually knew that, and that's why we chose it.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, thank you. So I hope this will be 3 minutes. Since nature destined women for the role of mothers, it is to be expected that they would be more empathetic and in touch with their emotions than the males. This is not a problem. Of course, some males are emotional and nurturing, while some women are cold and dispassionate. We cannot make sweeping assessments. Nonetheless, usually women are credited with being more emotionally sensitive and often more volatile. Most women naturally are in tune with their feelings. And so feelings of devotion and compassion, loving kindness and so forth usually come more naturally with women because we have to develop these as part of our role. Even in the worldly life, women need to develop patience, compassion, loving kindness, generosity, insofar as taking care of the family, not thinking of themselves so much, and so forth. Women naturally have these qualities already. They don't need to formally develop them. Daily life is their teacher, which can be a big advantage. Many women are not so much up in their heads, but they also don't feel challenged by their heart. If this emotional nature is left untamed, it can create problems, especially those of attachment. However, according to the meditation masters, this very nature of emotional intensity, if harnessed, allows females spiritually to advance more swiftly and higher than their more cautious and intellect-rooted male counterparts. Usually, women are recognized as feeling more at home in the intuitive. Of course, the ultimate nature of the mind, our pure unborn awareness, is neither male or female. One reason why there are so few spiritual books by women is that traditionally women were not educated and therefore could not record their insights and instructions. In addition, since they were usually not founding religious empires, no one bothered to write about them either. Of course, there were always the great female saints of this world in all religions, but still these are comparatively few chronicled compared with their male counterparts. Most ancient books in all religions are authored by men and are not very helpful about day-to-day spirituality. They tend to emphasize scholasticism, renunciation, and asceticism, while insight combined with patience and compassion, generosity, goodwill are also essential qualities that anyone needs to walk a genuine spiritual path. So we need to combine the two, the heart and the head together. That's what creates genuine spiritual growth. So anyway, we can certainly combine our everyday life with our practice through mindfulness and awareness, and also the cultivation of a kind and loving heart towards all living beings. So I hope that took up 3 minutes.
That was perfect. Thank you,
That was
Jetsunma.
wonderful. Thank you for joining us yet again.
Yeah. And now we'd like to invite Sister Lucy Kurian. Sister Lucy Kurian is a Catholic nun and founder of the Maher Ashram and Maher InterFaith Association in Pune, India. She has established 49 homes across India for battered women, children, and men. Welcome, Sister Lucy.
Welcome, Sister Lucy.
Thank you so much. I'm simply delighted to be with all our women companions here. Thank you to each one of you, especially Swami Ambigananda, Jesuma, and all the other my friends. For me, the thought that came to my mind, especially during this coronavirus, I feel the women has much more responsibility and burden to manage the family at this time, because they have to manage with the money that is little or no money which is there in the house. And because I'm working along with the women, so I could see the struggle in the different families and how they are managing. I also feel the women were spending much more time in prayer and meditation. Not that I will not say that the men were not doing that, but I could see or I could feel the pain of running a family within the women. And so they were spending much more time in prayer and in meditation. For an example, I just want to tell you, that there was one particular woman who was working as a sweeper in one of our board members' home. And when she heard that Maher was distributing food and food grain to the people, especially the people who were walking back home thousands of kilometers, and she said, "Oh my God, I have nothing to offer." And she was earning only just 4,000 rupees a month as a sweeper. And she took out 1,000 rupees and she gave it to that person and said, "Please offer this to Sister Lucy so that she can work a little more." These are the women that really touch my core of my being, and I feel so much strengthened and connected. There was another woman, once our social workers were distributing food grain and say food on the roadside. There was one woman who was staying near the pavement and she was watching. And I think she was feeling the pain of the people who were walking back home, kilometers in the hot sun. And she came running with just 1 kilo of rice and she told the social worker, "Please take this because I am not having firewood to cook the rice and give to the people. Please offer this." So today, when I think of this feminine energy, these are the people that come forward to my mind. And I offer my namaskar to all those people. And I thank you, each one of you, once again for giving me this opportunity. And I have much more to share what is going on. But as you all know, that I'm not a theologian, but a strong heart that is connected with all the women. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sister Lucy. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Sister Lucy. We'd now like to welcome Abuela Margarita from Mexico. Abuela Margarita is a healer. She's a guardian of the Maya tradition and a member of the Native Council of Elders of America. And she brings a powerful message of love from the feminine and Mother Earth.
And Alejandra Warden will do the translation from Spanish to English for us. Abuela, welcome.
Welcome. Bienvenido.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Gracias por estar aquí.
Thank you for being here.
Gracias por tener esta oportunidad.
Thank you for this opportunity.
En el 93
In 1993,
hubo un peregrinaje con los indígenas seminoles de 2 meses y medio.
I made a pilgrimage with some Indians of Mexico.
Seminoles.
Seminole Indians.
Y el tema era el cambio viene por la mujer.
And the theme was the change comes through women.
Y bueno, de pronto yo comencé a preguntar por qué.
And then suddenly I started asking why.
Porque la mujer es la que elige
Women
a quien le abre la puerta.
Is the one that chooses, the one that opens the door.
Para concebir.
To conceive.
Y sin duda que lo que concibe, lo que viene en su concibe a un
And
ser.
what she conceives, what she brings is a new being.
A un ser crístico.
To a Christic being.
Y lo tiene en su sagrado vientre 9 meses.
And she has it in her belly for 9 months, in her sacred belly.
Y bajo su cuidado por 7 años, su primera infancia. Mi
And
niña.
under her care for 7 years while the child is an infant.
Entonces, ella en ese tiempo tiene que infundirle mucho amor
So during that period, she has to give him a
y
lot of
todas las
love
virtudes que dijeron mis hermanas.
and all the virtues that my sisters say.
Y ese sería hacer crecer otro tipo de humanidad.
And that would bring another kind of humanity.
Entonces, de ahí viene pues una cosa que yo creo muy bien,
So from
que
there
la
comes
mujer es
something
la
that I
educadora
believe
de la humanidad.
that women are the educators of humanity.
Y rezo mucho, y
And
rezo
I-
yo,
And I pray
porque las mujeres nos volvamos más amantes de reconocer nuestro origen divino.
that women, we will more lovers of recognizing their divine beingness,
Y que nuestro cuerpo es la casa de Dios.
and that our body is the house of God.
En el nombre que cada quien tiene el nombre de Dios como quiere, como
Each one has the name of the God that you want.
Ajá.
Uh-huh.
Muchas
Gracias.
gracias.
Gracias, Abuela Margarita. Now we'd like to invite Rabbi Silvina Chemin to our panel or our introductions here. Rabbi Chemin is the rabbi at the Temple Beth El Synagogue in Buenos Aires, Argentina. She is a leader in human rights and interfaith dialogue. She is the author of 3 books, including Youth Rights and A Dialogue of Life. Welcome, Rabbi.
Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for any opportunity of sharing with you. And thank you, sisters, for this spiritual sisterhood that I feel this morning. When the Jewish tradition prays for health, evokes the feminine aspect of the divinity. The word mercy in Hebrew is rachamim, that shares the same root with the word rechem, which means womb. The Jewish conception of compassion and love is grounded in the essentially feminine image of the womb, which holds, nurtures, and protects. We pray to the merciful attribute of God. We ask her to embrace us in those difficult moments. Creator of all, help us to embrace your ways. When there are things beyond our understanding, remind us that we don't always need to understand. You bring the new day's sun. Your golden light shines upon us. Even in our pain and deepest sorrow, your still small voice is present. You give the gift of unconditional love. Your teachings are a signpost leading us home. Merciful and loving in your ways, shows us compassion when we hurt. Teach us to see new beginnings when we see only an end. Graciously shelter us under your wings, granting us peace and complete healing. Refuah Shlema. God who blessed our mothers and fathers, you have been our comfort through time and have walked with us through many challenging times. Bless those in need of healing, who are broken in spirit, body, or soul. Let's close our eyes and place in our hearts the names and faces of all those who want to receive this blessing that I will chant now. Mi sheberach avotenu מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless us all now with patience and possibility. Guide us all to be better humanity. Baruch atah Adonai Mekor Chaim. Blessed are you, our Mother, source of life. May our words of prayer and our heartfelt meditations reach you, steer you, God of mercy, God of womb, and cause you to remember all your children with favor.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi. Welcome.
And we'd now like to welcome Dr. Karambu Ringera from Meru, Kenya. Karambu is the founder of the Tiriji Foundation and of International Peace Initiatives. She is a senior trainer in Gender Equity and Reconciliation International, and she's renowned for her work on behalf of women and children of AIDS and for her peace building and leadership trainings in Africa and abroad. Welcome, Karambu.
Welcome, Dr. Ngera, dear friend.
Thank you, my sister Cynthia and my brother Will. And thank you, my sisters, sojourners on this journey of bringing life and love and light to our world. Thank you for having me here this morning, your time. And I'm blessed to share these few words with you all. When I was growing up, every evening, my grandmother would call us around her fire, where she'd be roasting a yam or a sweet potato or an arrowroot. And she'd be telling us stories, amazing stories of young girls exploring the woods, of young men looking after animals. And in every story, there was a moral for both the boy and the girl. And every night we sat fascinated by these stories. And much later, when I went to the university, I did oral literature, and we used to be sent out to research oral folk tales. And my grandmother was one of the sources of the amazing stories that we learned. There was a lot of connection about women and their role in taking care of our world, of nature. When you walk in nature, when you walk in the woods, it's like they invite you to rest, to come, to rest. I read somewhere also that a walk in nature walks the soul back home. And for me, being a woman and doing the work that I do with women is about every moment reminding myself and the women who are living in very difficult circumstances, that we bring life. We are life. We are nurturers, like nature nurtures everyone. We reconnect and connect our children to who they are meant to be in the world, to their soul. We birth life. And so for me, I have grown to know that in the work that I do, my intention is to bring life, to bring love, and to bring light. And in our organization, we say, peace is not merely the absence of war. It is when people have access to resources to live lives of dignity. And Mother Teresa said, we have forgotten who we are. Therefore, because we've forgotten who we are, we do not have peace. We do not have peace because we've forgotten who we are. The interconnectedness that we as human beings are, once we forget, we have no peace within, and that extends to having no peace without. So for me, COVID-19 has come to remind me of my role in bringing back life, a remembrance, a reclaiming, a reconfiguring of who I am, and to bring that powerful energy that connects the altar to the soul in my world today. And not just to see the ugly and the sickness, but also to see the beauty that is still there in the midst of all these things. Thank you.
Thank you, Karambu.
Thank you, Ma Karambu.
Welcome. And now we welcome Simi Bushra Ghazi, who is a lecturer at the University of British Columbia in Islamic culture, spirituality, and Islam and gender. Simi is the co-founder of the Rumi Society of Vancouver and on the board of Vancouver InterSpiritual Center. Welcome, Simi.
Welcome, Simi.
Salam. Peace to all of you. Thank you so much, Cynthia and William. It's a joy to join you from the unceded traditional territories of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh people, like William and Cynthia. I'm speaking to you from Vancouver. So I see that there are 188 of us here. And I want to begin in the way that I would begin in a Sufi gathering, in a dervish gathering that I would lead. And that is just to see you all and to hold you all. And though I can't see you all physically, I am seeing you inwardly from the depth of my soul. And I greet you with my gaze. And I want you to know that when I see you with my eyes, I'm seeing you not only with these eyes, my eyes, but with the eyes of everyone who has looked into my eyes, and everyone who looked into their eyes, and everyone who looked into their eyes. All the wisdom, all the teaching, all the elders, I bring all of that to you. It's been said in this COVID time that we are all in the same storm, but we're not all in the same boat. So I really want to take a moment to hold and acknowledge the boats that each of us who are here, all 189 of us, are in. If you've lost someone dear to you, we're all holding you. If someone is struggling with this grave illness, or if you're struggling or have been struggling, we're holding you. If you are facing financial precarity, or you are surrounded by those who are facing material precarity, we're holding you. If there's no security in your home, if there's conflict, and you are there without the protections and support you need, we're holding you. If you're finding that the anxiety and the stress, the distress of the roller coaster kind of life that many of us lead, that treadmill we can't get off of, if that's abated and you're able to turn inward and able to heal, and struggling with the irony of that at this moment, or to accept that. I want to say, accept that. Breathe into that. Celebrate that. Receive that strength. And we hold you in that because we don't know what's coming around the corner. We're living this slowness. The earth is breathing. The birds are singing more vibrantly than they've been singing previously in my neighborhood. And at the same time, there's this specter of illness, of death, of lack, of uncertainty. So I just love us to hold this all together. And I, in closing, will read a poem to you, which is speaking about that conflict of being a woman, and whether we're going to stand up and reach out, or whether we're going to recede in the face of what challenges us. So it's for all of you, my sisters who are here. Blueberry woman, black thicket heart, an azure haze on the brain. Someone floods you, leaves you dry, then takes you, slakes you again. She says, come into the sea of love. She says, come out on the plain. Earth and ocean in evanescence. What will you lose or gain? Somewhere, someone calling out, anybody's guess. Will she stand up, demanding more, or stand down, demanding less? Somewhere, someone's calling out, anybody's guess. Will she stand up, demanding more, or stand down, demanding less? Thank you for inviting me to be here and to stand up and demand more with all of you. It's a privilege.
Thank you, Simi.
Thank you so much, Simi.
Privileged to have you and all of the speakers. So thank you.
And we'd now like to welcome Alejandra Warden. She is founder of Essential Oneness. She's a teacher on the feminine based in Argentina and Southern California. And she's the author of Una Mujer Nueva, the love, power, and wisdom of our feminine essence. Welcome, Alejandra.
Welcome, Alejandra.
Thank you so much. And thank you, sisters. 2 weeks ago, right here, I cited the words of T.S. Eliot, who said, we had the experience, but missed the meaning. And I said that my prayer is that this is not so, because at these times of so much suffering, pain, and confusion, when there are so many deaths and so many, unlike us, are completely unprotected, without food, without water, without a roof over their heads, that sometimes we wonder, what good am I doing? What good is my prayer? What good are we doing together right now? And then it is easy to miss some of the meaning of what we're experiencing and living today. Today, we're witnessing a birth, and we are living and experiencing the labor contractions of that birth, the birth of a new world and a new humanity. And we all know that during delivery, we need to be extra careful with the way that we receive the newborn. That is why today is so important, not only to clean our hands and our bodies, to prevent from infecting ourselves and others with the virus, but it's also as important to clean our hearts and our minds of negativity, to prevent it from rooting in ourselves and transmitting it to others. Because this feminine moment is bringing into life a new consciousness, a change in consciousness, which allows us to realize very experientially the way our interconnection, the way our oneness that exists among ourselves, with nature, and the whole of Mother Earth. Now, the time of labor is usually a time of pain and discomfort, when we want the contractions to pass as soon as possible. But it is also a moment of love, a moment of communion and hope for the future. And this is important because this birth is not just something that we are witnessing. It's something that is taking place through our own bodies, because changes in consciousness, changes in perspective, changes in understanding, they need to be embodied to become a reality. So our understanding of this moment, the help we give others, our care, our love, compassion, and our prayers alone and together. Even if we don't know it, they are like candles lit in the darkness. In fact, they are the threads of the mantle of love that swaddles the world that is being born now. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra,
Muchas gracias, Alejandra.
and welcome.
Welcome.
And now we invite all the speakers and teachers to start their videos. And we're going to move into a panel discussion. So thank you for these short presentations. And everyone in the audience knows that in the second half of our time together, you'll be able to, difficult as it is, you'll be able to choose which speaker or teacher to go and be with for a short breakout session. But in this time, we just like to open for some brief conversation around some key questions. And those are, I mean, we're in a certain time of our history, our human history. And the main question is, what is women's role in this, on the spiritual path? What is the role of women at this time? And as Simi was just saying, how are we to stand up and demand more in the systems that need to be changed, and do that with the highest consciousness, with the power of love, with the power of loving kindness, with the power of practice? What is our role as women? And what is the role, you might even bring, what is the role of men or people of all gender identities who walk along with women? So wherever you want to take this, we just open it up to the panel. And as we say in all of our work, since there's many voices, please be compassionately brief, but get to your point and say what you need to say. And so as you feel moved, you can speak. And then for Abuela Margarita, Alejandra will translate as needed. So thank you, Alejandra, for the translation. So whoever would like to begin in whatever's on your heart right now. Yes, Abuela.
Bueno, pues yo comencé diciendo que
I began
la
saying
mujer
that women
es la educadora de la humanidad.
is the educator of humanity.
Y yo creo en este tiempo,
And I think that is this time,
el problema, la mujer debe ser, de hecho, la mujer anda buscando mucho la espiritualidad.
the women are looking for spirituality a lot
Para ella,
for themselves,
pero no la transmite a los hijos,
but not always transmitted to their children,
porque ya la está buscando un poco fuera de tiempo.
because she's looking a little bit out of time.
Creo que venimos con una carencia.
I think we come with some kind of lack.
Nos tocó, a muchos nos tocaron mujeres muy espirituales.
To To all of us, to many of us, we had very spiritual women.
Pero a las nuevas generaciones no nos ha tocado mujeres espirituales.
But in the new generations, we didn't have spiritual women.
Y eso es lo que nos ha hecho falta en esta generación.
And this is what is missing in this generation.
Yo me recuerdo que en tiempos pasados
I remember that in other times,
no estaban los ríos sucios,
the rivers were not dirty.
no estaba la madre tierra sucia.
The Mother Earth was not dirty.
Todos cultivábamos la tierra,
We cultivated the earth,
pero también cultivábamos la belleza espiritual dentro de nosotros.
but we also cultivate the spiritual beauty within our hearts.
El ver que nuestro cuerpo era la casa de Dios.
To see that our body is the house of God.
Teníamos ayunos,
We had times of fasting.
teníamos disciplinas en la mañana de levantarnos y encomendarnos a
We
Dios.
we had disciplines in the mornings to give ourselves to God,
Y cosas que nos hacían mucho bien.
and things that were good for us.
Al descuidar a nuestros adolescentes,
And when we do not take care of our adolescent people
a nuestros jóvenes
and those young people,
y aún a algunos adultos,
and even some adults,
porque como
Because-
niños nos tenían que cuidar
because as children they should be taken care of.
y nos dieron todo lo que nos pudieron dar.
They gave us everything they could.
Pero con los adolescentes ya no les alcanzaron a dar lo que les quisieron dar.
But the adolescents did not receive what they
Y
were able to
la
give.
juventud ya fue también de otra manera.
And young people was already in a different way.
Y
behaved
me atrevo a
differently.
decir de la madurez,
And I should say about maturity,
porque sí ha habido gente que me ha dicho que nunca le enseñaron que su cuerpo era la casa de Dios.
because there are many people that tell me that they were never taught that their bodies was the house of God.
Y entonces eso nos viene ahorita a recordar este
And
tiempo
now, and this time is coming to remind us of that,
que tenemos un origen divino
that we have a divine origin,
o crístico
or
o
Christic,
como cada quien le quiera decir,
or in whatever form people want to say it.
pero es un origen eterno.
It is an eternal origin.
Ajá.
Oh. Is it okay? Thank you.
Gracias.
I just want to say that the feminine knows wonders and interconnection the same way that when we are pregnant and we have our baby, we know our oneness and interconnection with our baby. So at this time, when we are trying to really root our sense of interconnectedness and love and among each other, and to bring a global perspective of how we are one with the earth and with everyone else, it is really the role of women, something that is extremely natural, whether you have children or not, because we have this womb, which is the source of creation, which is the container where the spirit comes into existence. It also comes a new humanity. It also comes this natural way in which we can bridge a moment in which we feel separate and isolated into a moment that can bring tremendous power and tremendous goodness for the future. And that also this is a special moment in which a lot of our old values and customs are dying. So it's again a good time because the new is coming into existence, new values, new way of raising our children, new ways of seeing our neighbors. That is a feminine moment. And I think that women, again, because we have this womb, because we are in contact with this natural way in which the feminine expresses herself, we are the natural bridges for this new creation of a new world and a new humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Alejandra. just as a time check, we have about 8 minutes. So yes, Sister Lucy, please.
Somehow during this lockdown, we at Maher felt that we should have, many times we are having like 24 hours meditation. That is, we were taking meditation and prayer in every home, like 1 hour every house would sit. So one of the time that when we were having, we felt that we should pray and meditate on to the feminine energy, because somehow I felt that especially in India, we were not giving that much importance to the feminine energy that is existed or that needs to be called upon for healing the world. So I instructed all the staff and also in every home that we made several phone calls, how it has to be done and things like that. And everyone came together in every home, in these 49 homes, and we were just following up on the feminine energy to heal the world. And somehow I could feel the energy that was coming forth from the male and the female on that particular day. And I felt very, very great about that day, because we were really calling upon that. And all the songs, everything was addressed to the female energy on that day. So it was a great experience. All 1,500 inmates calling upon the female energy and praying to that particular female energy to heal the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Lucy. Rabbi.
Yes, I
Sylvia.
wanted to add that this period of humankind and this period of the history of the world is new and put us all naked. We are naked as humankind. The planet is naked. We are showing how much we need each other, how connected we were, because women in all history fought for equality, for the same rights, for being respected and included. And now this little virus shows us how much we need each other, how important is the place of each other, the voice of each other, the role of each other. In this, I think that never like before, we have an opportunity to say we are going to be saved all together. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Sylvia. Yes, Simi.
Yes, someone had said something to me recently. I haven't confirmed the science, but they said the entire weight of this virus in the world is 1 gram or less than 1 gram. And yet that 1 gram, that strand of RNA, has transformed everything. And if this is the case, then how is it not possible for the weight of our breath and our prayer and our intention and our creative collaboration and our love to transform and heal what's been damaged, the ecosystems that have been damaged, the balance that has been damaged? There's this critical verse in the Quran, and it's in the Surah of Rahman, so the surah that invokes the divine as the womb, as you were saying, Sylvina, my sister. And it says, وَلَا تُخْسِرُ الْمِيزَانِ, do not destroy the balance. So, the Quran is this biophilic text, and it's got in it the grasses and the trees and the birds and the cattle, the gnats, the spider. There's a surah called the spider. There's one about the ant, and everything's interwoven. And this feminine name, Rahman and Rahim, in these two forms, appears again and again and again. And I think that we shouldn't despair about the smallness of, as women, sometimes it seems that patriarchy is such a force, and capitalism is such a force, and this plundering and dividing and selling and buying and looting and imbalancing is so powerful in the world when we look at the corporations, when we look at, but 1 gram of virus has transformed everything. And I know that the power and potency of our collaborative efforts in the spiritual realm and in the material realm, as so many sisters here are engaged in both, it's critical, and we have to try to make that difference.
Thank you, Simi. Yes, Karambu.
Thank you. There's an African proverb that says, until the lion learns to write, the story always glorifies the hunter. Until the lion learns to write, the story always glorifies the hunter. There is power in voice. And when women come together and step, demand, reclaim their power, the balance shall come. When we remember who we are and stand in that owning within us, total belief and embodiment of who we are, and speak in one voice, as in reclaim our story, write it and tell it, the balance shall come. There's nothing as powerful as the power of you and I standing in the power of our story, of our femininity, being women, and the men too, standing in that, in partnership with us. The balance is, we just need to reclaim it. Thank you.
Thank you, Karambu. We have a couple more minutes, and so just about 2. So I'm wondering about Swami Ambikananda and Jetsunma, if you would like to share anything. Yes, Swamiji.
Mind if I'm going to be controversial here, but the idea that my womb imparts to me the capacity to nurture and be empathetic is one that I am challenging. I am not sure that having a womb is necessary to possess those qualities. And we can look at history and see that not all women have unfortunately embodied those qualities. So I wonder if we could look at that. I wonder if we could examine that. Is our physical difference, the fact that I'm a woman and that person is a man, should that make us so different in terms of our capacity to love, to nurture, to care for, to have empathy with? Just a question.
Thank you, Swamiji. And I'm going to encourage that exploration in the breakout sessions as well. So that's a place to dive into that question. Jetsunma.
I was just feeling that the importance for the feminine is that women, females in general, should reach out and respect each other and support each other. I think a lot of our problem of being, overlooked and suppressed for so long is because we give the power to the males. And I see it even in our nunnery where we have the teachers, they are all, most of them are nuns from other nunneries, very senior. They've been studying 20 years. They are, extremely learned. But the monk, the one monk we have, who is also a teacher, although he has actually studied much less than most of these accomplished nuns, is almost unconsciously given more respect than they give to their own Dharma sisters, even though these other nuns come from other nunneries, so that by rights, it's not just that they're part of their own nunnery. They don't even recognize it. And even when you ask them, they say, no, it's not true. We treat them all the same. But actually they don't. And I think as long as we give the power to the male and with respect just for their maleness, presumably, and we don't respect our sisters as much as we respect our brothers, then of course, the males are going to take the role. If we hand it to them, then naturally they will take it. And throughout the world, you see this, that women just, so unconsciously hand it to the male. And then what can we hope? If we don't love and respect and appreciate each other as well as the males, then how are we going to go forward? So this is why these kind of gatherings are wonderful, because everybody's here appreciating each other and each other's great qualities. And that's beautiful. And Will's disappeared.
He did to respect the space of the women at my request. So he'll come back, I promise. So thank you, Jetsunma, and thank you to all the women teachers for all the insights and all the different perspectives and the different lenses from which we come